Hello everyone and welcome back to my book review where I give unhinged, spoiler-free recaps of books that I've recently or not so recently read. I know it's been a long time. I've been tired, but I'm here to talk about a book that is a little tiring, but it's fun. It's a really fun book. And it is Song of Solomon by the amazing Toni Morrison. There's not much that I can say about this book that hasn't already been said, but I will try. This is a book about Milkman Dead who is trying to fly. Really, I guess that's the long and short of it. That feels very odd, especially if you've read the book, because then you're like, well, that's not all that the book's about. This book is a lot. There's a lot going on. I would call this a coming-of-age story, but Toni Morrison does some really fun stuff with time and non-linear time, so it's not necessarily completely linear. This is a book about Milkman and how he tries to navigate certain relationships, whether that be romantic relationships, or friendships, or familial relationships, or his relationship with himself, or his relationship with strangers. It's a book about relationships. It's also a book about trying to find money, trying to find treasure, trying to connect to your roots, trying to understand why your family is the way that they are. There was so much going on in this book. It's funny. My friend hyped up Toni Morrison, and I was like, well, I should read some of her books. And then my friend was like, no, I don't think that you should do that, actually. Well, at least not right now, because I was going through it racially. And then I left school, and I decided to read Toni Morrison, because I was in a better place racially. And I can tell you that I read this book at the right time. I can also tell you this, I read The Blue Sky. I listened to the audiobook version, which was voiced by Toni Morrison. I will never talk about that book because it hurt me so deeply that, I simply can't talk about it. It's a great book. You have to read the trigger warnings. Read the trigger warnings for this book as well. Okay, read trigger warnings for books in general. I knew what I was getting into when I read both of these books, and it was a lot. It's a lot. It's so much to take in, but they're both great books. I mean, Toni Morrison is a huge name in literature for a reason, and I don't really believe in the idea of classics and the idea that we should laud certain authors as great because of reasons that Western people came up with, but I do believe that the books that I've read by Toni Morrison were wonderful in their artistry, in the way that she writes. It's so conversational. It made me feel at home, but it also hurt me on a very deep spiritual, like Negro spiritual level. Next time, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it a little bit. We're going to be talking about Parable of the Sower. There's been a lot going on recently, right? Yeah, a lot sort of really bad stuff happening. And I know a lot of people have been talking about The Handmaid's Tale. Never read that, but I have read Parable of the Sower, and that is a little bit of hope in a dark, tragic time. So, that. Okay. I'll see you next time. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are protecting your peace. We'll be alright. Bye. Hello everyone and welcome back to my book review where I give unhinged, spoiler-free recaps of books that I've recently or not so recently read. And today we are talking about Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. This is maybe a very poignant book for a lot of people right now who are feeling a little hopeless about the U.S.'s state currently. So, this book is about a young woman named Lauren, and She has some unique abilities, and this isn't necessarily like a superhero, superpowered book. I don't want to make anyone think that. It's just about, it's truly just about a young woman who is trying to find people who will help her make the world a better place. The book is very good. I listened to the audiobook. I love listening to audiobooks. It was very sad for a long period of time because I was like, well, we're never getting through this, and you're never getting through this. And it seems like there's no way out, and there's no possible way that we're going to see a brighter place, that we're going to find hope. And this whole time, Lauren is recontextualizing her relationship with God because she grew up Christian, and she realizes that God is change for her, and she pretty much creates her own belief system. She finds people who are like-minded and people who also want a life outside of the dystopic America that they're living in. If you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anger and hatred towards certain groups of people, if you're feeling like you want to self-isolate and or only focus on groups that look like you, I would encourage you to read this book. We have to come together in order to make a better world. That's just the truth. And to all the people who are saying books aren't political, keep politics out of books, well, to most of the black and brown and queer and disabled and any othered group out there that has forged their way into literature, sorry that all of your books are suddenly apolitical now. So Parable of the Sower is a great apolitical book. It's just a fun little book about a cross-country road trip, if you want to think about it like that. This is a wonderful book. I really love it. I'm sorry that I seem really tired in this. I was crying a lot today because of a lot of things. But if you are an emotional person like me, maybe take a little time before reading this book. But if you feel like you're ready for it, if you feel like you're up to it, like, oh my gosh, I can do this, read this book. Octavia Butler is amazing. For next time, we are going to talk about a comic series. So just get ready for pretty pictures so that I'm gonna give you a little brain break. A little brain break. I need it. So that's for next time. Bye. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my book review where I give unhinged, spoiler-free recaps of books that I've recently or not so recently read. And today we are talking about New Masters by Chabot and Schaff Coker. I think it's Coker and not Cocker, but if someone knows, please correct me. This is an absolutely gorgeous graphic novel series. There's 6 books. I've only read the first because my library only had access to the first one. But if I go to another comic place, or heck, I might just have to order it online because it's gorgeous. This is a book series about a ragtag group of outcasts who've all come together and they're trying to survive as alien colonizers are sort of looming over them and making their lives a little tricky. The reason that I found this book series was because I was doing a project on Afrofuturism, and hey, I have to let you know, if you love Afrofuturism, this is a great book series, great graphic novel series for that. Oh my gosh, the clothing, the hairstyles, the accessories, the mobility aids. Oh, also the artistry is just gorgeous. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous book. I love it. If you're unfamiliar with Afrofuturism, a white man named Mark Derry coined the term in the 1960s, and he created a term that was so narrow, it's not applicable to Afrofuturism today. So I like to define Afrofuturism as reimagining the future, but with Black people across the diaspora. I know some other people have different definitions, but I feel like that's a great catch-all, because oftentimes people of color, but like especially Black people, are not included in futuristic media, and it's sort of like, where did everybody go? Oh, did everyone just suddenly disappear? Interesting. Interesting. But that's what Afrofuturism is about. And this book was actually written by Nigerian brothers, and this is, according to them, a love letter to where they grew up in Lagos. And it's gorgeous. I am going to be getting the other 5 books. I just have to find them. And once I find them, it'll be over. Yeah. Amazing book. I love it. For next time, we are going to be talking about a book that okay, just between you and me, I technically didn't finish this book, but I know how it ends. And also, that doesn't matter because it's spoiler free for you guys. And I really didn't have to tell you this, but I wanted to be transparent. And also, this is such a great book, and the author is also amazing, and so I really wanted to highlight their work. And it also is a great book because it really got to the problem that I have with love triangles, which is, why don't we all just get together? So that's for next time, and I hope you are all staying safe. I hope that you are all protecting your mental well-being. Don't isolate yourself. Okay, bye!